Our mission today, or the goal that I've set forth today for us, is to write a blog post, a better blog post that Google will love using ChatGPT and AI. Here inside of the Helpful Content Critic GPT, what I've done is I've asked this GPT, based on Google's helpful content criteria, give me an evaluation for the updated blog post that I've just created using ChatGPT. And you can see 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Visual and structural appeal, 8 out of 10, but I haven't started to add the visual aspects of the blog post yet. User focused versus search engine focused, 9 out of 10. Overall, this blog post is a stellar example of creating engaging content, a stellar example of creating engaging, informative content that aligns well with Google's helpful content criteria. To evaluate it further, consider incorporating direct quotes from experts, linking to primary sources for key facts, and enhancing visual elements to break up the text and illustrate concepts discussed. But 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10, pretty good. So the article in question is over at Universe Unriddled. The site, of course, the AI site that I've created here is a case study, and also creating helpful content that entertains and educates myself, as well as I believe it will entertain and educate the folks that are interested in the topic. For example, this topic, how many suns are in the universe? Now, the other day, I made a video showing off a few GPTs that I could use or I think would make this blog post better, or just generally help me create better content for the end result, which is to help people answer these types of questions. How many suns are in the universe? I said this article is kind of boring because it is actually kind of dry, and I don't think that it actually answered the question. Now, Google told us not to write for the SERPs, but at the end of the day, are you writing for the search engine? Are you writing for people? Or are you trying to balance between the two and figure out what Google is okay with? Because here are the results for the question, how many suns are in the universe? With Quora here being the top one, and then a few other sites that I may or may not be able to beat. We'll take a little closer look at that in a minute, but I wanted to dive back into these GPTs real quick. I used Automated Writer, and in that other video, of course, I will put a card up here, link in the description, and you probably already watched it because you're following along with this case study, of course. So understand that these are the questions that I'm going to add, or this is a piece that the GPT gave me that can help me make my blog post better, as well as the fully SEO optimized article, including the FAQ GPT. The GPT that I used gave me this outline, so I took this information as well to include the FAQ section and the conclusion, as well as some of the information that it gave me here when it broke down how to revise and restructure the content to really focus on answering the question. So I took that back to GPT, or back to ChatGPT, GPT-4, and just the plain vanilla, no context set, no optimized GPT, but just me having a conversation, helped me improve this blog post, and I gave it the URL, and I actually pasted in the blog post right here, and it gave me this information. If I scroll down here a second, bear with me, here it is. Your blog post offers a fascinating exploration of the number of suns in the universe, blending scientific facts with imaginative comparisons to help readers grasp the enormity of the cosmos. But here are some suggestions for improvement aimed at enhancing clarity, engagement, and depth. Now, one of the things was, or the first thing was, start with a more compelling hook, because I really didn't have one. Going back to that original blog post, like I said, pretty dry, pretty boring. But clarifying suns versus stars, this is something that I didn't really do very well or at all. And it says here early on, clarify the use of suns versus stars, but I also wanted to actually answer the question. So anyway, I took that information and then I just continued the conversation, and I said, great, now let's start the improvement process to rewrite the blog post with the intent of moving up the search engine rankings for the keywords, how many suns are in the universe. And notice that I'm not using any magic prompts. I'm not using any kind of long, extended, crazy prompts that use up all kinds of brain power to try to think of. I'm just having a conversation, telling ChatGPT what I want to accomplish. Working with the AI, just like if I was working with someone who was helping me write this blog post, or if I was just sitting here banging my head against the wall trying to come up with my own ideas. without anyone to brainstorm with. And that's what I love about AI, is my ability to brainstorm. I put in this information here that we saw a minute ago from over at What's My SERP, this information, just so it has that as well. Now, I probably, or it might be able, to look at each one of those and pull in information from them. But at this point, it didn't, and I'm not really interested in doing that. So I fed it the notes from the recommendations from the chats. So here I have the links to the chat. Again, it didn't go read the chats. That was just in my notes, and I just pasted it in. Sometimes I get a little sloppy with my AI assistant or my chat buddy, because being more exact is always better. But what I did is I pasted in those chats or the recommendations from those GPTs, as well as the outline here that the GPT gave me. And then I said, or I gave it, or re-gave it the information, re-fed it the information that it gave me as far as the introduction, clarifying stars versus sun. Again, my attempt to just be a little more exact. And then I said, at this point, I'd like to start a new blog post with a new outline. Please begin. If you have any questions, go ahead, ask me, but let's focus on this keyword and let's create answers that searchers question, or answers the searcher's questions based on the searcher's intent. GPT kicks it off and it writes me a new outline. Then I effectively just took this outline and I wrote one section at a time. But before I did that, I had a little deeper conversation. And I said, is it understood that I want to rank for different keyword variations, or LSI keywords that match the searcher intent for the keyword? How many suns are in the universe? And can you give me a list of 30 of those variations so we both are on the same page for this blog post? Again, having a conversation just like I would if I was talking to myself. Do that a lot, trying to figure out things that I want to do, or talking to someone that is trying to help me, an actual real live person or an assistant. Does this blog post outline include all the required sections to accomplish the task? And here is the task, or the task is to create a comprehensive and engaging blog post on the topic, how many suns are in the universe? And then again, the information that it gave me, that it told me from the GPTs, from the plain vanilla ChatGPT version 4, no setting the context, no telling it to pretend to be an SEO expert or any of that, just having a conversation. I fed it that information again so it knows, so it's aware, and then it came back and it told me the outlined structure for your blog post, how many suns are in the universe, is comprehensive and well designed to engage reader with varying degrees of interest in astronomy. It combines scientific facts with engaging narratives, elements to not only answer the core questions, but also to explore the related themes and enrich the reader's understanding of the cosmos. To ensure this blog post aligns with SEO best practices and captures a wide range of related searcher intents, incorporating keyword variations or latent semantic indexing, LSI keywords, is crucial. So we did that. It gave me a list of keywords, and then we just kept rocking and rolling at that point, because I was like, now it's time to start writing, and you can see how simple I kept this. Okay, let's write introduction, unveiling the cosmic mystery. Hook the reader with an intriguing fact or question about the universe's scale. And then it kicked off and it started doing its thing and it wrote it. Then I just simply said, now write the next section. And I'm just copying and pasting this from the outline that it gave me. And then I just rocked through each section until I got to the last section and actually combined these two sections. And I said, now write the FAQ section and also the frequently asked questions. But I also told it, where did I tell it? I told it down here, as well as I want to add these questions, the original questions that I got from the GPT, where it gave me some interesting questions that would enhance the searcher's experience when they landed on the page. And then I said, write the conclusion. And then I said, summarize the key points and create a call to action to keep reading, encourage readers to subscribe and all that, because I'm actually going to link to my Facebook page as well and see if that helps. But it wrote the conclusion. I like it. It's pretty good. Of course, I still have to read all this myself and edit it. But then I moved into what the next stage is. Again, based upon the GPT, the helpful content critic, based on Google's helpful content criteria. Here's the evaluation for the updated blog post. Visual and structural appeal, 8 out of 10. I'm looking to get that score up by creating or having Dolly create some of these images. Here you can see I said create an illustration, concept art, wide aspect ratio, where did I get this idea for concept art and wide aspect ratio? Here I called Dolly in the chat. So you can actually call the GPTs right here. And you can see I could just do an @ and I called Dolly. But if I was to go to Dolly, you can see here concept art. And you can see down here when you're actually in Dolly, you can look at the different types of art or the different prompts or the different way to influence it on the type of art it's going to create for you. This is concept art. Aspect ratio came from here. You just simply click that and it adds it adds widescreen aspect ratio. Of course, if you wanted charcoal, you click charcoal and it tells Dolly what to imagine and what type of art to create. So here we went ahead and did that. Here I changed it up because I didn't actually have the widescreen, and I went ahead and put in the widescreen. And it looks pretty much similar, but I like the widescreen. You know, it's just the different dimensions. So we're going to start using those. But then I also went back and I did a incognito search. And in that incognito search, I saw that Quora owns the snippet. So this is position 0, or this is the top level. This is the first result. If you're not using the SGE or the Google AI search generative experience, this is what people will see as far as the snippet. So I said, okay, well, let me take this and see if, because we're supposed to be writing for people, and this is as an aside, right? To back up, we're supposed to be writing for people, Google tells us, not for the search engines. But when you do a search and you find the snippet, and the snippet just literally answers the question, how do you not want to add that into your blog post in a way or a fashion that while it is for people, because you want to answer their question, because that's the answer they're looking for, but you also want it to get the snippet or win the snippet. So again, you're locked in between that sort of rock and hard place, right? Of saying, I'm not writing for the search engine, I'm writing for people, but I am writing for the search engine so the people can find it. And you get the idea. And we're going to go back to ChatGPT, and I gave it the information, and I said, the current Google snippet is from Quora for that keyword, and I fed it that information. It wrote me another one. I had to go back and forth with it just a little bit or one time, and I said, rewrite it and shorten. Do not repeat ideas. Simple, short sentences. Use only 1 comma. If 2 commas, then cut the middle or make 2 sentences. Remove redundant words. Remove unnecessary words. This is kind of where I get into the world of giving it direct or strict instructions for things that I wanted to do, or quote unquote prompting. So I use those, and you can use those as well. See if you have any luck. Really, again, this is just like if you're working with a person, you have to be very clear, and the more clear you are, the better result you get. So that's what I did there. And then I moved into creating some more images that I'm going to use. I'm definitely going to add the images. And then I went ahead and updated the key takeaways, and I said, okay, give me some more key takeaways. It gave me those as well. Then at the end of all that, without the key takeaways, I forgot to add that, I'm at around 6,295 words, and I don't think it's about the length. I don't necessarily think that that's going to make it the perfect blog post, but it is what it is to answer all the questions or to put everything in that I think matters, and to get that 9 out of 10, that's where we are at. And currently, if you go and check the Ahrefs account, this is my free Ahrefs account just for Universe Unriddled. You can see here's the keyword that I'm really looking at for that URL. How many suns are in the universe? How many suns are there? And then how many suns can fit in the universe? Those are the 2 that I'm currently ranking for or indexed for, or I have position 12 and position 53. So I'm going to try to move that up, and we will track that, or I'll come back and report so we can see what's going on with that. But that is the process that I used to create the perfect blog post for Google, utilizing Google's helpful content criteria, utilizing this GPT. This GPT comes from Income School. They created it. It's a private GPT. Check out the video where I walk through those GPTs. Watch that next. It is on the screen right now. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.